This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa Bagong Pilipinas.
Good evening. This is 13 News.
Let's get into the headlines right now. Malacanang rolls out another wave of cash relief amid impact of re-escalated tensions in the Middle East. Millions of Filipinos set to benefit.
House authorities say it's all systems go for President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address this July.
Effect of withdrawn number of witnesses to the length of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara still uncertain, according to the Senate Impeachment Court.
PNP nabs 3 suspects in the killing of American marine biologist Kent Carpenter, with 1 suspect still on the run.
And President Marcos Jr. secured investments and job opportunities from his 3-day working visit to Singapore. These include a landmark partnership to expand hospitals nationwide.
All these and more, here on 13 News.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. says the government is rolling out new relief measures amid effects of re-escalating tensions in the Middle East.
A new round of cash and under the Uplift Assistance Program is set to benefit 7.5 million low-income households. Malacanang says this expanded program will help families meet their daily needs while easing the impact of rising fuel costs. IBC News correspondent Harley Valbuena has the full report.
Lisa still struggles to get out of poverty despite being a 4-piece beneficiary for over a decade now. She now worries how to survive should prices of commodities rise again amid re-escalating tensions in the Middle East.
Hindi na po siguro kakayanin ng gagaya namin na mahihirap na matugunan yung pangangailangan namin sa pamilya.
Hence, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ordered the expansion of assistance under the Uplift program to 7.5 million households or 37.5 million individuals. Under this, one-time additional 2,000 pesos cash aid from DSWD will be distributed to 3.5 million beneficiaries of 4-piece and Walang Gutom program. Poor and near-poor Filipinos identified in the 2024 Community-Based Monitoring System or CBMS will also receive 2,000 pesos assistance. 1.5 million low-income workers listed by the Social Security System will meanwhile be granted 2,000 pesos per month starting this July to December. 12.37 billion pesos was allocated for the expanded uplift. The palace meanwhile assured that while the fresh cash aids were intended for the poor, the government still does not abandon the middle class.
Layunin ng uplift assistance na mapangalagaan ang kakayahan ng mga pamilyang Pilipino na matustusan ang kanilang pang-araw-araw na pangangailangan. Kasabay nito, pinalawak natin ang saklaw na tulong upang mas maraming Pilipino ang makinabang sa programa.
Assistance for PUV drivers and operators will also continue to prevent fare hikes. President Marcos Jr. ordered the use of digital payment systems for a faster and more convenient distribution of cash aid. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
It's a little over a week before President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s upcoming State of the Nation address. But the House of Representatives says everything is set at the Batasang Pambansa complex for the President's 5th report to the nation. Greg Gregorio has the story.
Security and coordinating partners from the House of Representatives, the Senate, and Malacanang conducted a joint walkthrough of the Batasang Pambansa earlier today. House Secretary General Cheloy Garafil says it is now all systems go for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s upcoming 5th State of the Nation address.
We don't expect any problems sa security kasi okay naman lahat dito. Maganda yung coordination. Palagi naman tayong prepared ever since naman walang nangyayaring kaguluhan dito sa loob.
Even though the preparations have been toned down due to the energy crisis, the security remains tight for the president and all of the guests.
Of course, dito sa loob, as far as security and safety is concerned, talagang, primary consideration namin yun. So, we cannot afford na may magkaroon ng security glitches.
Strict monitoring of the area surrounding the Batasang Pambansa is also in place.
Of course, kahit papaano may mga problems sa labas, particularly, cannot avoid that pangyayari ngayon sa political landscape natin.
A coordination meeting was also held between the House of Representatives and members of the media to ensure smooth and organized coverage of this year's State of the Nation address. Greg Gregorio, IBC News.
The recent result of a social weather station's survey showed an increase in President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s public satisfaction ratings. According to Malacanang, this will help guide the administration to focus on which programs need to be improved. But the palace also clarified that regardless of what the numbers say, the president will continue to work for the nation's development. IBC correspondent Jinky Batigados has the report.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. remains focused not on survey numbers, but on working and delivering services to the Filipino people. Malacanang emphasized this following an increase in the president's public satisfaction rating in the latest Social Weather Stations or SWS survey.
Ang Pangulo ay hindi po apektado ng numero. Tumaas yan, bumaba yan. Ang focus ng Pangulo ay magtrabaho. Kung ano ang kailangan maipaabot sa ating mga kababayan, yun po ang gagawin ng ating Pangulo at ng administrasyon na ito.
Based on the SWS survey conducted from June 20 to 29, President Marcos' satisfaction rating rose to 38% in the second quarter of 2026, up from 33% in March. Meanwhile, the percentage of Filipinos dissatisfied with the president's performance declined to 45% from 49%. But according to the Palace press officer Claire Castro, while the president does not base his work on survey results, the findings still serve as a guide for cabinet members in identifying which government programs and services need to be further strengthened.
Hindi yan dinidisregard. At ito naman nakikita din ng mga miyembro ng gabinete. Ano ang dapat na i-push? Ano yung dapat na pagtuunan ng pansin? Pero ang Pangulo, gumanda man, hindi gumanda ang survey para sa kanya, hindi po siya maaapektuhan ito. In the first place, hindi naman siya tatakbo bilang Pangulo sa susunod. So, trabaho lang po ang Pangulo.
The SWS also reported improvements in the president's net satisfaction rating in key regions, including Balance Luzon and the Visayas, as well as in both urban and rural areas. The survey was conducted through face-to-face interviews with 1,200 adult respondents nationwide. For Malacanang, regardless of how the survey numbers move, President Marcos and his administration will remain focused on working and delivering programs and services that address the needs of the Filipino people. Jinky Batigados, IBC News.
The Senate impeachment trial court remains uncertain about how the withdrawal of some prosecution witnesses will affect the duration of the trial. Senate impeachment court says this also depends on the House and defense team's presentation of their evidence. IBC correspondent Daniel Manalastas has the details.
Despite withdrawal of some of the prosecution's witness for their fourth article of impeachment versus Vice President Sara Duterte, the Senate Impeachment Court says its impact on the length of the entire trial proceedings remains uncertain.
Yun yung expectation natin, pero yung realidad niyan, syempre, iba naman yung mga ebidensya na ipapakita rin ng prosecution.
It can be recalled that the impeachment court earlier approved a total of 92 trial dates, 62 days for the prosecution panel and 30 more days for the defense. During the first 6 days of the trial, 2 witnesses from the prosecution have so far been presented. NBI Senior Agent John Mark Kalilung, and NBI BARM Director Jeremy Lotok. And even though the Senate Impeachment Court deferred on Monday, July 20, their decision on whether to subpoena or not VP Duterte's bank account and tax records, Attorney Reggie Tongol said the senator judges may still ask for more time to decide.
Pagdating ng Lunes, baka may mga bagong mga legal theories or schools of thought na naman na lumabas sa debate. However, that is just in the realm of possibility.
And what we have so far is the possibility of NBI Director Melvin Matibag taking the witness stand next week for the prosecution. Daniel Manalastas, IBC News.
The Malacanang emphasized that it is the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI's, mandate to probe any allegations that need their attention. PCO Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro made that remark after some senator judges made comments on the NBI's pronouncement regarding the investigation of the alleged 2019 SEA Games hosting of the Philippines. Castro even highlighted that the NBI cannot disregard any possible anomaly that is brought to their attention for investigation, and this is not in any way a politically motivated act.
Ang pag-iimbestiga na gagawin dahil meron naman talagang issue noong pang 2019, hindi ito pang-i-intimidate, hindi ito panggigipit sa mga taong wala namang ginawang mali.
And in other news, Sandigan Bayan officials inspected the new Quezon City Jail amid questions raised by Senator Rodante Marcoleta's camp over his transfer to an isolation facility. Meanwhile, the anti-graft court has also set the pre-trial for the senator's plunder case on August 10. Ace Medrano has the details.
This is what the infirmary inside the new Quezon City Jail looks like, where Senator Rodante Marcoleta will be detained. Officials from the Sandigan Bayan 3rd Division inspected this facility following questions from the camp of Marcoleta. Recall that the UP Philippine General Hospital issued a medical assessment that Marcoleta may be released from the hospital since he no longer manifests symptoms of pneumonia, though UPPGH recommended to place him in a 1-week isolation and medication. Once done with isolation, Marcoleta may soon be transferred to the general population cell.
Kung okay na yung medical condition niya, dun saan namin nilagay sina Senator Jingoy and si Bongi.
In an interview with Treze Mornings, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology assured the public that despite this arrangement for Senator Marcoleta, no special or VIP treatment will be given to the senator.
Sa BJMP ho, mananatili lang ho ang pagtupad namin sa mandato. Makaasa ho ang ating mga kababayan na pantay-pantay, magkaparehas lamang ho ang pagtrato natin sa lahat ng PDL.
Meanwhile, the anti-graft court sets a pre-trial for Marcoleta's plunder case on August 10, and the prosecution says they will present 11 to 13 witnesses for this case. Ace Medrano, IBC News.
In other news, the Philippine National Police, or PNP, confirms that 3 of the 4 suspects in the killing of American marine biologist Kent Carpenter have been arrested. The PNP said the suspects' statements and evidence gathered so far indicate that the crime was a robbery gone wrong. Investigators said one suspect allegedly shot the victim, while another sexually assaulted the victim's live-in partner, and the 3rd suspect acted as a lookout. The suspects are now facing robbery with homicide charges, while authorities continue to hunt for the 4th fugitive. The PNP also confirmed that the crime was not related to Carpenter's work as a marine biologist.
But as of now, this points to the fact that this is not the crime was not related or is not related to the occupation or yung trabaho po ng ating victim.
Coming up next, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. concludes his working visit to Singapore with key gains for the Philippines. Stay tuned. This is 13 News.
Flavors worth craving. Stories made to inspire. Restaurant every Friday at 4 p.m. on IBC 13.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. returns home from his 3-day working visit to Singapore with secured investments and employment opportunities. Among the agreements reached was a partnership between Singapore's ABC Impact and Ayala's AC Health, which is expected to support the expansion of 10 hospitals, 300 clinics, and more than 1,000 pharmacies by 2027. Harley Valbuena has the details.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. brings home fresh investments and new jobs as he concludes his 3-day working visit to Singapore. In a business meeting attended by the President, ABC Impact of Singapore and AC Health of Ayala Group formed partnership for the expansion to 10 hospitals, 300 clinics, and 1,150 pharmacies come 2027. This will generate 10,000 direct healthcare and retail jobs for Filipinos. Singtel Group, meanwhile, committed to expand their operations in the Philippines in AI, cloud technologies, and data center infrastructure, which will also create high-value jobs.
Matagumpay at produktibo ang working visit ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. sa Singapore. Baon ng Pangulo ang iba't ibang investment sa larangan ng kalusugan at digital infrastructure sa Pilipinas.
During the courtesy call with Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, both leaders vowed stronger cooperation on trade and investments, artificial intelligence, and health and social development.
Isinusulong din ng Pangulo at ng Prime Minister ang mga bagong bilateral agreements na makakatulong sa pag-usbong ng dalawang bansa.
The two countries also reaffirmed commitment to peace, stability, and prosperity in the ASEAN. Meanwhile, First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos delivered her keynote address at the Global Economic Cooperation East Summit of Future Economic Cooperation Council, where government and business leaders in the Indo-Pacific convened for a deeper cooperation on economic and sustainable growth. Harley Valbuena, IBC News.
Meanwhile, more Filipinos benefit from the continuing discounted fares on Metro Manila's train lines. Now, in its 4th month, the government vows to sustain the program and keep public transport affordable. IBC News correspondent Victor Leontino has the report.
Commuters continue to find relief as the 50% fare discount on MRT3 and LRT2 remains in effect. For third-year college student Lynn Michelle Juarez, the discount drastically cuts down her daily transportation budget.
Sobrang laking tulong niya po kasi imbis na yung one-way po na pamasahe from MRT, naging two-way na po siya.
Edith Santos, who frequently rides the MRT with her PWD child, shares the same sentiment.
Okay naman po kasi malaking bagay po para sa mga bata at para po sa amin na naka-avail po kami ng 50% ngayong araw na po ito. Kasi sa mahal ng mga ngayon, bilihin, panggasto sa bahay, sa mga bata.
Senior citizens are also reaping the benefits. 64-year-old Helen Bueño expressed her gratitude directly to the Chief Executive.
Pangulong Marcos, mahal ka po namin. Patuloy niyo pong suportahan yung MRT po sa 50% na pamasahe po. Maraming salamat po. Love you.
According to the Department of Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez, the President initiated the program to cushion the financial burden on commuters, especially amid the continued high prices of petroleum products in the country. The discount program has been in effect since March 23, 2026. Victor Leontino, IBC News.
Meanwhile, more than 231,000 Filipinos have now received benefits from the Department of Social Welfare and Development's Walang Gutom Kitchen program. Since opening its 3 facilities in Pasay, Cebu, and Zamboanga, the initiative has expanded access to nutritious meals for thousands of underprivileged families. The National Capital Region accounts for more than 221,000 beneficiaries, while over 6,000 have been served in Cebu and more than 3,000 in Zamboanga. Through the program, the DSWD aims to provide nutritious food to low-income families while strengthening the government's efforts to address food security across the country.
Meanwhile, the election period for the first ever BARM parliamentary elections scheduled for September has begun. Authorities have tightened security across the region, including the enforcement of the gun ban and the deployment of checkpoints to help maintain peace and order. The Commission on Elections said measures are in place to prevent election-related violence, while the government urged the public to cooperate with authorities and comply with all election regulations. The Philippines and Japan further strengthened their maritime cooperation as a Japanese training vessel docked in Manila today. The Philippine Coast Guard welcomed the Japan Coast Guard's training vessel Itsukushima as it arrived at the Eva Macabagal port. The vessel is on a 9-day global ocean training voyage, with its 4-day visit to the Philippines serving as its final overseas stop. The visit aims to further strengthen people-to-people engagement between the two Coast Guards, while also providing PCG personnel the opportunity to train aboard the Japanese vessel.
Argentina, led by football superstar Lionel Messi, is set to face Spain in the grand finale of the FIFA World Cup. Argentina advances to the championship match after rallying for a 2-1 comeback victory over England in the semi-finals. The defending world champions will seek to retain their title against Spain in Sunday's final at New York, New Jersey Stadium in the United States. Coming up next, tensions between U.S. and Iran continue to escalate. Stay tuned. This is 30 News.
Kayo ba ay may mga isyong may kinalaman sa karapatang pantao o pangkalusugan?
Isyung legal at pangangailangang medikal, ito ang programang magbibigay payo, tulong para sa mga mamamayang nangangailangan. Kasama sina Congressman Zia Alonto Adyong at Attorney Mix Nograles.
Makakasama niyo kami sa paghahatid ng kwento at tulong, pag-asa at pagbibigay ng mabilis at di kalidad na serbisyo.
Tutukan ang lahat ng ito sa House at Your Service tuwing Sabado, 1:00 ng hapon, dito sa IBC 13 at Congress TV.
The United States is continuing its military strikes against Iran. U.S. Central Command Commander Admiral Brad Cooper said that U.S. forces have carried out what he described as unpredictable, dynamic, and decisive strikes, including the destruction of 4 warships. The U.S. naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz also redirected 2 commercial vessels that allegedly attempted to breach the blockade. Meanwhile, Iran retaliated by launching strikes on U.S. military targets in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan.
And before we wrap up tonight's newscast, we bring you the results of the PCSO's 9 p.m. lottery draws. For the Lotto 642, the winning numbers are 2, 13, 25, 6, 30, and 42, with a jackpot price of 16,967,295 pesos and 47 centavos. For the Super Lotto 649, the winning combination is 5, 34, 18, 26, 23, and 9, with a jackpot price of 74,564,647 pesos and 92 centavos. For the 6D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 3, 5, 8, 7, 6, and 5. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 7, 8, and 2. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 16 and 27. There is no winner for the Lotto 642 and Super Lotto 649. the calendar emoji date set to July 17, tomorrow is World Emoji Day. The annual celebration highlights the role of emojis in daily digital communication. It is the perfect excuse to use your favorite emoji a little more tomorrow.
And for all you coffee lovers out there, the annual Manila Coffee Festival starts tomorrow. The festival will run through the weekend at SM Mega Mall with the day passes priced at 350 pesos. So I imagine if you go to the coffee festival tomorrow, you can post about it and use emojis.
Yes,
Celebrate
and
both.
I really love coffee. But basically, iced coffee with oat instead of milk. What about you? Are you a coffee lover?
I do. I like any sweet type of coffee.
Okay, but I also like matcha, so that is, it's a hard balance. Okay.
True.
Yes. So those were the latest from the IBC newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and give you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I'm William Thio. This is 13 News. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.